Oh, I just pressed it. Wait, I'm gonna share this on my other Facebook. I'm still banned on my Facebook account. I'm sure it's only a few days away. Hang on.
Exploration of space.
Exploration of space. Nothing happens on the stream by coincidence, guys. Just saying.
Exploration of space. Exploration of space.
Woo! That's warm-up song. Spiritual personal training. Gonna run a marathon today. Where do we start? It's been a while. I thought if I'm gonna pay for StreamYard account, I might as well go live and jump on here. I'm gonna ramble just for a little bit. Seen some interesting things lately. It's getting cooler here in New Zealand. Got my little hat on. Brother Sage would love this. Brother Sage, got my beret. Shout out to Brother Sage. Gonna talk about the ascension-descension illusion. People trapped in illusions. Just a little bit of a disclaimer. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. Take what you want, discard the rest. You know how we do it at Creating Miracle Minds. Gonna talk about losing your identity as we do, returning to 0 point, the absolute truth, not something that makes you feel better, like religion. Religion makes you feel better, but it doesn't work. If religion worked, then we would all be happy and enlightened, but we're not. So gotta look at things that actually work, right? Which might seem to be the most scary thing you will ever do. The most dangerous work you can ever do in this realm is to lose your identity completely. And I work as part of an organization where these identities run very high and people seem very benevolent. But yet they do not know. You know, Ascension teachers, they have big followings, hundreds and thousands of people who are seekers, who are seeking, who stumble upon their channels or their information and, you know, have stopped to question. And these intuitions are beautiful, but remember, logic and reason, using the higher faculty of mind to balance these beautiful intuitions and things like the New Age teachings and the ascension timeline and all these things. There's a time and a place where you jump off the ascension timeline, you recognize it for what it is, which keeps you trapped in the number 8, which keeps your consciousness trapped for infinity. Get off that timeline now and make that conscious decision, and recognize it for what it is. Because if you are teaching ascension, you do not know who you are. And truth is simple. You either know or you don't know, And for a lot of people who have built up such a identity as being such a teacher with a big following, the taller you are, the harder you fall. As they've got giant spiritual egos, and when they're presented with some information, it might take them a long time to recognize what they're teaching has a limit. It has a lock. It's not number 9. You're stuck in number 8. Okay, just keep moving. Just, let the identity go. Even though they're benevolent, it doesn't matter. You either know or you don't know. Okay, let's not overcomplicate things. I saw a teacher, an ascension teacher with quite a big following, and this is not me like trying to attack people. Like, I love everyone equally. It's more about freedom of expression and freedom of speech at the end of the day. Freedom to be who you are, So this teacher was explaining a whole different range of situations and frequencies and things that you can encounter and be attracted to and play victim, and you can be attracted to loneliness and fear and greed and all these things. And then that's very complicated, In 0 point, it's very simple. You either know or you don't. There's only love and fear. There's duality, yes. And in order to experience 0 point and return to infinite consciousness, you abandon those ideas and become non-dual, and then come back and laugh at the world of duality for the beautiful cosmic joke that it is. With no identity, and you're bulletproof. You don't get offended because you have, there's nothing to prove anymore. So yeah. So I'll read a little bit. If you've been messaging and I haven't replied, I'm like tranquilly, hectically busy. For like the last 7 months, I've sort of abandoned creating Miracle Minds course. So for all my friends who's waiting for that, we're gonna do that eventually in May, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I know you guys still keeping in touch. Yeah, so creating Miracle Minds e-course will be, firing again at some point in May. It was supposed to start in January, and we did it for a little while, and then global people's monetary system came, into my life and became more of a priority. If anyone wants to join and you have even 1 hour a week to contribute to the greater good, you have the perfect skills already. To be able to contribute. There's a place for everyone. So message me, or preferably, because I can't reply to messages, so I'm just inundated with messages. Go to www. Oh, just started raining. www.gpms.world. Sign up there. We'll get in touch with you and put you in touch with a group of people who's beautiful, who's all working together really well. To eradicate poverty in an instant, and a lot more. Another few things, just popping up is like grace in communication, being patient. A lot of people on here ask like, oh, can you give me information to this that'll help my life and all these things? And then 2 weeks might go by and I haven't replied. And they're like, yeah, but you said you were going to. Oh, we're back. I think it's the rain that's messing with the internet. Yeah, so respect the universal code. Things happen in divine timing. It's just ego people who want to control time and put pressure on other people. Go easy on yourself, because I am you and you are me. So if you want to judge, go easy on yourself. So here we're going to go. Be very brave and courageous. If you are heavily identified with your identity, come back at another time, because you will be emotionally triggered once I start going. It's always good when you are faced with information that really triggers your identity and your ego to remain with curiosity, like, instead of judging, going, oh, this girl's, or, instead of judging, remain curious. Like, there's a lot of people that are very graceful, and they are at the point where I know some people who have been on the ascension timeline for 30, 40 years. And when I get talking to them, some of them are so ready to move on and know who they are, that they are curious, and they are the ones that are humble enough to go, well, I don't know what you're saying, but something feels right about it, and I'm willing to explore it more. You know, that's a very good place to be. It's okay if you do judge and you get angry and put the video off too. Everything happens perfectly as it should through mathematical code, and you weren't meant to figure it out that time. That's fine, but you know it all already, so it's just a show, really. Um, yeah, so I'm looking forward to a whiteboard marker. Guys, I got some big surprises again. Yeah, let's just say I'm gonna have a whiteboard marker soon, and maybe this will change a little bit, but everything's always changing, and it's the same. So when you want to know who you are, when you want to return back to 0 point, the only block that is blocking you is the filter of specialness, which projects a world where some images seem more important and valuable than other images. And this is where the ascension teachings expose themselves for what they are. Because when, an ascension teacher would speak, again, coming from a place of love, you can only teach from the consciousness of where you're at. You can only teach from what you know and understand so that you can articulate it. And ascension teachers don't know who they are because they wouldn't be teaching ascension if they did. Okay, so it's not an attack, it's a statement of fact in terms of frequency. Ascension teachers and a frequency could be seen, their frequencies can vary. And if you want to know the codes to the universe, then you're going to have to think in terms of frequency, energy, and vibration. And then you're not attacking anything, you're stating a fact, which means, the person can feel like they are being attacked, but that's because they're still holding an identity there. Ascension teachers could vibrate anywhere between 300 and about 6, I'd go as high as 600 hertz. But there's a cap on that. Ascension is not knowing thyself. Because with ascension, there's descension. There's still duality. There's still an identity. And some of these identity seems heavy, not that there's degrees either. The ascension concept introduces the false concept of degrees and levels. These do not exist. I heard an ascension teacher explaining something going, yeah, but we are on this level, and then there's the ones that on this level, and then, and there's all these different degrees, and this is how the ego wants to complicate the whole world. You can say, yes, there are some people on different frequencies, but in ultimate truth, everything is one. And so these teachers unconsciously keep perpetuating the experience of time and space by identifying with the ascension concept. It's very easy to say, oh, time and space doesn't exist. It's easy to say that, but the universe knows you. The universe knows if you have it figured out or not. You can't hide from the universe. You can't hide from mathematical code. You can't. So you can say those words, you can get on a live and go, oh, time and space doesn't exist, and we're ascending, and some people are here, and I'm here because I'm in contact with this galactic thing, and I hear the sacred voice and all these things. But yet in the back room, when life gets tough and you're presented with challenging circumstances, how do you act then? Because the universe knows. I know some beautiful, tarot readers and all these things, and spiritual life coaches, and sometimes life presents them with a challenging situation, and boy, do they get fiery. And then when there's a client at the door, they open the door and it's all like, oh, namaste, hi, how are you, da da da. It's like a big act. So you can't hide from the universe, and you know yourself best, so you know how you act when life presents you with difficult situations. And that's where diamonds are made. So when life pushes you hard, you can use these beautiful, challenging, what seems to be chaotic times to become a diamond, and let that pressure push you. Let this video push you. If you're watching this and you're on the ascension timeline thinking you're some very great benevolent being, I hope this video pushes you to go, okay, well, never thought about this before, So anyway, let's continue. So this is very apparent in special relationships as well, where you love, as the ascension timeline is also, in sort of like special relationships. That's ego, and people don't always recognize that. When you're on the ascension timeline, you'll have more love for certain people of certain frequencies, and you'll push away others. How is that love? Like ultimate unconditional love. Like it doesn't seem like a lot of people actually know what unconditional love is, and yet in the ascension groups that you'll find, everyone's all about love and unconditional love and I love you and da da da, but they don't know love. Like they say they know love, but the universe knows they don't know unconditional love. You can't love unconditionally if you haven't returned to knowing yourself. You can't, because you'll be praising the people who do good, oh, the divine ones, the loving ones, they're good. And then there's all these evil ones that are, we need to get rid of them. And I mean, yeah, there's a time and a place for right action. And no, you shouldn't kill children or, be a pedophile or, necessarily eat animals if you don't have to. But there's nothing wrong with that either, because you have to look at the entirety of it and go, well, it's consciousness, it is an activity of consciousness. Consciousness is perfect. You were created perfect. Everything here is perfect. Everyone is perfect. Only thing is not perfect is when there is an identity that comes here and then seems to judge an external world that doesn't really exist. That's where judgment comes in. If you don't know judgment, then you have returned to your essential nature. Because if you cannot judge any longer, then you know what's going on here. You have figured out the mathematical code. Anyhow. Oh, someone's there. Hello. Alfred, Anthony Cherry's there. Hello. Self-preservation to a degree. Yeah, the Ascension timeline is like self-preservation, and it looks like Christmas, really. It's got all these fluffy lights, and it's put in a box so pretty. All the people who are seeking for, spiritual teachings, they latch onto the Ascension timeline. And they join groups like Ascended Masters and all these things, and they got, preach love. But as soon as you start saying that, this identity, which seems so benevolent, is also false, boy, do they get colorful. Unfortunately, I didn't find. Are you love? I do not trust. Oh, well, you don't trust me because you don't trust yourself. So that's fine. That's completely fine, brother. I know who you are. Just don't. If you don't trust yourself, don't go out late at night on a full moon, okay? Be careful what you think these days. You'll end up in some sort of tango somewhere. Oh, the rain's really coming down now. Can you guys hear the rain? It's storming here. Wow. Anyway, okay, so let's continue. Hey, mahalo. Anthony knows that this is a form of self-preservation. Yes. Wow. and it's so unconscious. So and then someone who seems like a very well hooked up ascension teacher with a big following might they'll go on and on and on, like unconsciously saying words that expose themselves and not even know that they're doing it. So it's either you're conscious or you're not. There is no degrees. There is no degrees, and this is very important to know. It's and not to feel bad or to even feel too good about it if you do know. Just keep it humble. Either you don't know and you remain in a state of grace and curiosity and respect, and if you do know, it's all just a show, and you're just loving life. And supporting those on the journey, and not teaching false teachings. I mean, it's quite harsh when I say false teachings, but it is what it is. Again, there's some forms of love and oneness in there, but it's not a complete version. It's not complete. It's like mathematics they teach at school. Some of the stuff, there's some truths in there, but it's not sacred mathematics. It's not a sacred way of teaching mathematics, and a lot of the mathematics in there's the physics, the science, the chemistry. It's false. Okay, a lot of these things are coming out. I've been saying it for ages, and I hope people have listened and become preparing yourselves emotionally for what's coming. I've been saying that for a long time. Prepare emotionally to be graceful, no matter what's going on in your external reality. Okay, never stop doing that. Never stop deep learning and deep thinking. That's the trajectory that is going through the eye of the needle. And if you don't resonate with these words, that's fine too. But Grim Reaper's coming, and it's going to be difficult. It seems it's going to be a bit of a fight. Like when it's like a cat and mouse. The cat will kill the mouse very slowly. It's going to be slow and painful for you. If you want it to be graceful and beautiful, then just make a commitment and value deep thinking and deep learning, and you'll get there. That's part of the mathematical code. Let's continue with. So, in any situation where specialness is cherished, and again, the ascension people can't see that they think they're special. So this cherishing, it seems, the cherishing of your identity as some beautiful spiritual person, this cherishing will keep on going around and around and around for years and years and years and years. And you will experience the avoidance of pain and the pursuit of pleasure, and you will experience suffering, and you will still not know who you are. This hides. As long as you think you're special, it hides knowledge from you, this identity. And you're not as special as you think you are. And some people go, no, I am special. I love myself. Self-love is also an ego teaching. When you return to knowledge, then you could say, self-love as in, it depends what you mean by it as well. If you mean self-love in terms of loving consciousness, like an artist loves their artwork, when there's a collapse of separation and you are one with what you find beautiful, that's what everyone's looking for. That's why, and I've said this before, this is why people like to go skydiving. This is why people pay for sex at the red light district. This is why people enjoy eating food when they feel emotional. And this is why people go to church. They want to feel the collapse of separation. And, they do that in environments where they feel safe. It makes them feel safe to eat, to overeat, or to... in the skydiving, it's a bit of a paradox because you get that experience of the collapse of death and the collapse into this beautiful... the fear of God brings you so close to it as well at the same time. So in that unsafety, there is something more there. And that's the collapse of separation. Anyway, so as long as you think you're some sort of special thing here on planet Earth, the universe is so big, you're just a little speck, okay? And it doesn't mean to say you take this the wrong way and run with it and go, oh, I'm worthless, and go to the other extreme either. You know, you want to be in the middle. You want to be in 0 point. 0 point is in the middle. First you abandon duality, you find out that you're actually non-dual, and then you sink back deep into 0 point, you know, where you know this is a big joke. You're not special. No one is special because everyone is everything without form. Anyhow, let's continue. When it's recognized, the folly, the joke, the big cosmic joke of specialness, then you have been released forever. So all these ascension teachers that go, I am special and I'm playing a divine role and da 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 da, you know, the ones that are number 9 will just look at you and giggle, you know. It's like you're telling a little joke. Yeah, you're, you know, one of those builders that bend down and your cracks hanging out, you know? One of those tradies. That's what it looks like. You're like a tradie it's late on a Friday afternoon and, you know, you're just bending down and this an old tradie crack. You know what I mean? It's the best thing that consciousness is coming up with at the moment. But that's what it is. It's like a giggle, a little joke, because really, you're not special, okay? You're not any special. And this is where the special love comes in again. Ascension is like, oh, well, I'm here and there is a hierarchy and a structure order and da da da. And no, everyone's equal. It's just your defiled belief that you think you are special. You still need to learn that you're not. Once you come back down, then you can get up on a stage and speak confidently and even make the audience feel like they are one with you. You are separating, causing levels and, you know, and suffering the consequences of that because you're still learning and it's fine. I'm just saying you're not special. So if any divine master comes and says, I'm special and I got a big role, yeah, question that. Really do question that because we are all equal. We are all equal. We're all part of the same energy. This energy has sometimes different frequencies, and that's fine because you are all of those, but no one's special because forms do not exist. You can only think you're special if you're identifying with a form, with one energy, when you are everything, and you need to recognize that for that to be so. Otherwise, you might spend a whole lifetime teaching false teachings on ascension or descension, but the descended ones are exiting now, so that's fine. Anyhow, how long have we been going on here? It's been a while. Gosh, half an hour goes so fast. Okay, be back at some point soon. There's so much more I still want to say, but yeah, gotta go. Yeah, so just refrain from like jumping on a live and just talking to make yourself feel better about things that you're not actually doing and you know that you're not actually doing them. I come across some things and I know people, and the universe knows you as well. The universe knows you. So if you get up and talk about something and be like, yeah, and it should be this way, and people need to do this, and people need to do this, but you're not doing it yourself, the universe knows you're not doing that. So you're going to have to learn the lesson of actually learning that lesson and then speaking from a place of actually knowing that you are doing that. So just a little side note. For anyone who is jumping in a live thinking that they know what they're talking about and they actually behind the scenes not actually practicing that in their life, universe gonna kick your ass. Okay? And with these ascension teachings too, if you knew who you were, then you wouldn't be asking questions. So a lot of ascension teachers can sometimes get they're still asking questions and they're impatient. It's like they want to know, like, why don't people get this? Why don't they get it? And it's like, well, they don't need to get it. The most important thing is for the person who's saying that to know who they are so that they can stop asking questions and return to knowledge. So that's another thing. Yeah, it's more important to recognize truth for what it is than changing or saving an outside world. Because once you recognize this, once you recognize everything is perfect already, then you can create from a space of love without needing to change an external world. And again, the universal code is smart. You cannot fool the universal code. The universe knows your thoughts. It knows what you think. You can't fool it. So it has to be genuine. You have to know that you have returned to a point where you no longer experience a thing such as time or space, and experience immortality for yourself. It's easy to say these days. I've come across people who go, oh yeah, and we're eternal and da da da, but they still have no idea what it actually is. They haven't experienced it for themselves. Yes, they are, but the expression of it is, you can see that they're not there, so but they are there at the same time. The great paradox. Like, take everything I say with a grain of salt. But it's not about me, it's about you. Like, I can't do this for you. You have to go and do the work. And this is another thing with humanity, it seems. People want things so quickly. They're just like, okay, well, I can't do this because I have a very important identity and a very important role, and I have to go off and fix some timelines. So I'm not going to come here and really focus and be disciplined. This is, by the way, the universe is asking you to be really focused and disciplined on the small things, okay, and not have an identity. So a lot of people go, oh yes, so when I come into the team, great things will happen and da da da. No, you're not special, and great things aren't going to happen. Everything's perfect, with or without you thinking you're some sort of identity. Chill, relax, figure out who you are, then you come back and you be humble and you have fun and work in harmony with people and da da da. But don't be afraid to mirror other people's crap back at them. Don't let people take you for a ride or, take advantage of you either. It's called healthy boundaries. So, I do that. I reflect other people's stuff. Sometimes, it might seem harsh, but it still comes from a place of love, because it's self-development for the person who's experiencing what you are mirroring back to them. And again, the universe knows you. You cannot lie to the universe. Okay? You cannot. So if you're really being rude and you're really acting from a place where you feel vengeful, the mathematical code is going to know that, and it will kick your ass. I promise. Anyway, I really have to go. It's been 32 minutes. Jesse, what do you think of the concept of duality being one half of its very own duality? The concept of duality. Oh, the concept of duality, yeah, light and dark, and pleasure and pain, and all these things, yeah. But only one really exists, and that's the point where you have to leave duality to know the mathematical code of the fabric of the universe, unlock the master key to the universe, and only then, it's experienced internally, only then will you know and come back and return to duality to merge and feel one with mathematical universal code. No monk is there. No monk is in the house. Everybody, no monk knows. No monk's one of the bouncers here. So if you're going to get sassy, Noel's going to kick you off. Singularity and duality working together to achieve balance in the void. Singularity and duality. Duality must be transcended. You must become one with duality. So duality must be transcended in order to know who you are, so that, who's laughing? I hope you're not laughing out of judgment, but out of oneness. Because if you're laughing because you're judging, then the universe gonna kick your ass, buddy. Okay. Singularity and duality working together to achieve balance. So, okay, I need this whiteboard again. Let's have a look here. I'm going to draw you guys a quick picture before I go. Let's do the mathematical code thing. Basically, we only work with numbers 0 to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, very quickly. So, oh my god, can you see? There we go. I'll just do it this way. Okay, That's zero. Oh, zero is the void. This is the foundation, the fundamental nature, nothingness. Not the old concept that they taught. Well, first, everything was just like, we can't tell you what happened before the Big Bang, so we don't know. So all we're going to tell you is like one day there was this Big Bang and it made everything. Okay, that's yeah. We return to consciousness only model, returning to the void, and when you return to your actual experience, you actually all this makes sense. And in the 365-day course in Creating Miracle Minds, we do train the mind to return back and actually see, oh yeah, if I look at life this way, it actually makes a lot more sense than the upside down version they taught me in school. When I critically think about what I'm actually experiencing in my own experience. Anywho, so that's the void. Then we have the singularity. Okay, so we're born, and then, well, we think we were anyway. They try to convince you well with that one. Then we experience a world of pleasure and pain, good or bad. This is the ego. This is where we start developing a little ego, like a separate identity. Okay, and this is just a story, a metaphysical story to try and unlock some codes within your own consciousness. Then there's a thing like love. After we develop a bit of an ego, we do at some point. Some people are 70 and they're still at number 3. Doesn't matter though, it's fun. Then there's number 4, that's love. Okay, so you do at some point in your mathematical code figure out there's a thing called love and it feels good. Then 5 is the avatar. That's where you have this identity. Maybe this is also a good, a funny one, where the world has tried to sell you things to your avatar. You know, it's like, oh, this is the part of economics. Could be number 5, based on the avatar. This is where all things body identification comes. Number 6. It's a good one. Remember, 3, 6, and 9 codes to the universe here. Number 6. 7 is that divine communication. 8 is where a lot of people get stuck. This is where the ascension people are. They're stuck in number 8 with ascension, always going higher and higher and higher and higher. There's a cap. Yeah, you can spend a whole lifetime. You could spend many lifetimes here just stuck and like, oh, the world is changing. There's a big announcement. It's the age of this. Soon, this incoming energy. Oh, have you heard? It's a full moon. And oh, the energies are rising and they're rising. And yeah, I mean, you can ride that and then the energies are not going to rise and then you're going to be stuck there. Okay, so what you want to do is get off there. Get off. Jump off consciously. Go, okay. I've been stuck here for like decades and I'm not happy. I can still feel there's something inside me that's like niggling, like, I don't know what it is. I'm so bloody spiritual. But I still like, I know. It's a feeling. You know, there's something in there. It's like, I can't put my finger on it. But yeah. Oh, is there someone there? You got to get to number 9. So, duality working together to achieve balance in the void by making sure neither goes too far either way. Well, no, because nothing ever happened. That's the thing as well. Nothing ever happened. The script has already been written and it's made out of nothing. And you'll only know that when you go to 9. So really, singularity and balancing duality, you really want to know, you really want to get to knowledge and know that it is all one and that it's made out of absolutely nothing. That's the big cosmic joke. Anyway, so but yeah, we will be talking a lot about that and giving some codes away about how to build free energy devices and all sorts of things. You can, immortality's up for grabs. You can figure it all out and still be cool, live a normal life, be humble. I'm just like, my man, there's so many people who know the codes of the universe and, you come back and you just express it in art and things and relating to the world will go on forever. That'll go on forever. It's a never ending thing. So you just come here, not to have some sort of special identity or some spiritual person and think that you're really good for the planet because you're trying to save it. There's nothing that needs saving, okay? For all these people, yes, it's great that you have a good heart and you want to do the right thing and da da da, but you don't come here for that, okay? There's no such thing as the external world. Keep going within, keep doing the work, jump off that ascension timeline. It does keep you trapped. Anyway, I've rambled for like 40 minutes. Woo! I love you guys. I'll be back at some point. A lot going on in my life right now. But remember, the only thing that's real is love, and fear is a dream.